Here to take us through the bridal trends for 2011 are Georgina Schulze, contributing writer for Metro Weddings, and Rita Neri, wedding planner for Rita Neri Event Planners. Good morning to the both of you.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for waking up so early on a Friday morning. Well, you know, it is a couple of days, a couple of weeks before Valentine's Day. Maybe there are a lot of viewers, a lot of people who have decided to take their relationship to the next level, to the level where you can't go back anymore and get married. Is the upcoming season really still the most popular Valentine's Day onwards into the summer?
No, it's not.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, maybe that's definitely...
Georgia would know. It's usually December and January.
Wow, definitely a misconception for someone who doesn't know anything about weddings. Yeah. Tell us, the most popular time of the year for weddings is, Georgia?
It's December, usually November, December, because a lot of the couples getting married have friends that are abroad, either doing school or working or any. So at December, everybody comes home. And of course, the weather, no?
Yeah, weather and
plays a big role.
Let's put it this way, I think money is more,
how
to say, flexible, at least for December, and as Georgia put it, a lot of the relatives are going to be coming over. So it's December, January, and then you get the bare months.
Oh, I see. Oh, cool. Okay. So as far as the trends with weddings this upcoming year, are there big changes compared to, we just finished the holiday season? Are we kind of taking a couple of things from the holiday season and the trends from last year going into this year, or are they totally different for 2011?
Well, I'm hoping that they change a little bit. Of course, there are trends that will never go away. Like, I think a beach wedding will always be a staple.
Oh, the classic white.
Classic white, traditional. But there are things that I hope that, you know, the year closed on and we open up to new. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the gowns last year were the same, and they've been the same for a while. You know, the strapless bodice that's tight, and then the big balloon skirt. I think too many brides wore that. So I'm hoping that that changes and brides get a little bit more unique.
Correct.
With
we look at weddings, maybe the ones that take place in other countries, or people get to be quite risque with some of their wedding gowns and some of their wedding themes. What are the most popular, I guess, before we go into, you know, some of the more risque ones, like someone wore black, one of the Hollywood celebrities wore totally black to her wedding day. We did see the year open up with Regine Velasquez getting married, and she wore a red dress, you know, a bright red dress. What were some of the trends last year as far as that's concerned that isn't going to carry over or is going to carry over into this year?
I honestly don't think that colored gowns is already starting to come in, but I don't think it's as dramatic or as deep as a red or a black. It's more like, let's say, a dusting of a color, like a light pink, a blush pink, or a light gray, or maybe a matte gold. Yeah, but never that maybe not in the Philippines yet.
In the Philippines, Pinoys tend to still stick to the traditional, more conservative.
Yeah, a lot of brides do like to put black, but then they'll make it maybe a sash on their dress, and then they'll make their entourage be in black. But I don't see a Filipino bride going full black. What I do see, though, is a lot of glamour, because I think people also tend to go for what celebrities, like I said, that gown, it was very Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City. You know, so everybody wanted to be that bride. Even you notice their entourage had the floral, you know, applique in their dress,
I think it's more like accents. You know, it's really more accessorizing. So now you see the little chapeau hats with the veils and the feathers, and just accent colors. Not really the whole thing.
And of course, you know, Prince William's getting married to Kate Middleton, and I think a lot of people are going to use that. Everybody is so into that couple, and I think when they do get married, I think a lot of couples are going to take details from that wedding and try to emulate them as well.
So if last year kind of the you know, the staple wedding gown that kind of set the trend was Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City 2, this year I think we can really expect that Kate Middleton's gown and the trends going into the wedding are really going to set the tone for this year.
I think.
But just as if you're looking at last year's trend, look at the Chelsea Clinton gown, and also the one of the daughter of Trump. That's exactly what Georgia was saying. It's still the balloon skirt and the layered look, and it's really being adapted now when it should have been moving on already.
Exactly. Like it's too much.
Silhouettes
too
are
much.
different. Silhouette should be
George
different.
says it's too much.
Yeah.
You were gonna go, well, on the cover of Metro Weddings, we have Christine Hermosa in a beautiful nude Carrie Santiago gown.
Yes.
Is nude something that a lot of brides are kind of favoring or looking towards?
Yes, nude is, and in fact, a lot
Why
of
is
brides. I think it adds a unique touch, but a lot of brides, if you notice, even their entourage are going in creams and whites
Or
as well,
taupe.
and taupe.
You know,
a
yeah.
lot. And you know, before it was like the bride was in white or in that clean color, and then they would get their, their entourage to be in maybe like a bright color. But now, no, now their entourage is also in a very muted color, and everything's very earthy. It's almost earthy.
Yes, and last year's theme I had a lot of jewel tones, but
Yes.
now it's really more again more subtle, more really like ghost colors already.
I see. Okay, so I mean, like earlier, you both said Pinoys are still tend to be quite conservative when it comes to the weddings and maybe their color palette, but we have moved away from just that very white. I mean, people are
Yes.
considering other colors except maybe in a very ghostly. Ghostly
If they're
tone.
going to do a white, it's really more like a fashion statement. Yeah, because it's it's totally off the charts. So maybe we'll have one or two doing it, but I don't see it as a trend.
And it's also hard to pull off something very white. Skin tone wise, it's very hard to pull that off.
Well, we mentioned earlier some of the, of course, favorites is to have that traditional maybe church wedding or to have that beach wedding. Us being in the Philippines and being a tropical country, to really kind of make use of the beautiful beaches. Is that something that you guys are already noticing is still booked up as the season approaches or as the months approach?
Very unbelievable. Destination weddings, it's just increasing all the time, and people are looking for really off the beaten track venues.
Unique. Everybody wants
Yes.
to go unique. Everybody's like, I want mine to be unique. I want a beach, but though of course beaches, like I said, it's a trend that's never going to go away.
How do people make it a little bit more unique? The beach is there. There are only so many things that you can do with
The
the
details.
beach. How do
Personalize it.
Yeah, they personalize.
They always personalize it. I mean, if you want to have fireworks, do something different about it, or even your table settings, and I mean, have a flash mob dance with all your entourage. There's so many things, but you really have to personalize it.
Wow, I mean that's it's really into the detail then.
Yeah, like for example, if you do a beach, you can of course the color first of all, like you choose a color that hasn't really been used, and then maybe putting shell detail, sand detail on the table along with the flowers.
Even
and the
as far
flowers
as the
you choose.
giveaways, right?
And the giveaways also, everything.
What are some of the trends as far as the destination weddings are concerned? People are being a little bit more adventurous with the details and their giveaways. What's the kind of most off the wall giveaway or little detail that you guys have kind of run into?
Well, still with the theme of being earth friendly, it's it's still the herbs and what is the venue, like say a location. Example, if it's Batangas, what is it known for? Coffee. If it's Bohol, you'll get something from the bee farm. So it's you don't really have to break the bank, and you're helping the economy at the same time.
Well, I love that you brought that up because that was going to be something I was going to segue into, breaking the bank. I mean, I think a lot of people definitely plan to have that dream day go perfectly, but it seems as if it really is a nightmare. I mean, I watched Jennifer Lopez in The Wedding Planner, and it does not seem like it's that much fun. If you're the bride, or if you're going to be part of the family, or one of the members who's putting on the wedding, for you to actually be that much engrossed into the preparations for it. I mean, as Rita, as a wedding planner, really people think they can do it themselves, but what are the advantages of getting a wedding planner and having like a third party step in?
To say that it will be stress-free is an understatement. you are just, the wedding planner absorbs all the stress that's not only brought about by the planning, but also by the people around the couple. Because, each one likes to contribute, and depending on how big or how small the wedding is, again, the advice can take on a different dimension. So the bride is just, absorbing all of this. A planner gives you direction and organization.
So when a future bride comes to you and says, how basic do they come to you? I want to spend X amount, I want it at a beach. Is that how pretty much basic, ikaw nang bahala with the rest? These are those.
Of course, always with their vision in mind. Because it's never our wedding.
Before they even come in, you know, have 2 or 3 visions and have a direction where you want to.
Yes, we sit them down and say what exactly is, like for me, what exactly is non-negotiable for you.
Yes, the same.
What really is your vision when you're walking down the aisle? What really is, you must have this, and then let's trim out what is not needed or just somebody told you and you were just toying with the idea. Yeah.
And what are some of the things that maybe people didn't know they could cut costs on or really kind of highlight in their wedding, that they can really make it more personal?
I think they should stick to the basics, which is church and reception, because a lot of the couples get carried away and they want cocktails, brunch, you know, and have a wedding rehearsal beforehand. It's nice, but you don't need to really go out and spend so much about it. You know,
creates more headache too.
Exactly, and I know there's a tendency, especially for Filipinos, to be very what we call galante. So they like to absorb all the cost. Well, I think some of the friends can pay on their own already.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. You know, the thing with the Filipino wedding is it's really big. Like the bigger the better. Everybody's trying to top their friend's wedding that happened a few months ago. And, you know, but there are ways to save, like what she said, like paying for the dresses. I don't see anything wrong with that if you're gonna let them choose a design anyway.
You can always give the material and have her buy. I mean, pay for the
It actually takes modern weddings to a whole different level. It's not necessarily just a modern wedding because you have a more modern design or a different way. But it's really just because, hey, we're, you know, I mean, let's keep it real. We're, you know, times can get tough and these costs can get kind of hefty. Let's all share in our special day. And it's not beyond the bride and groom to ask their
Absolutely
friends.
not. Actually, even our cover bride, Christine, she was, one of her tips to new brides was, you know, to be practical. Your wedding day is one day, you know. I think you should focus, she said, focus on both of you, and you know, she gave tips like that about, you know, how you don't have to spend so much money to have a beautiful wedding.
Definitely got carried away a little bit with the trends on the weddings. I do want to talk just a little bit more about the Metro weddings. Tell us what people can expect and what they can take out of this month's Metro weddings that you mentioned with Christine and also Maggie.
Yes.
Who had a quite risque pre-nuptial video. Is that something that is an up-and-coming trend as well?
Well, I would hope not.
Yeah. I think the prenup video, because before, I remember, it was just photos. You know, they'd get their photographer and they'd be like, take our photo and whatever. But now it's also the video. But
so that's a trend.
The video,
okay,
not
the video is a trend, not the risk.
I mean, you have to remember that you're still doing a celebrate. I mean, usually if there's church involved, you know, you invite your priest and you know, you have your older relatives, and you know, as much as to each is really own, we're hoping that, you know,
I think you also have to think of the person who's going to be viewing it. So if, you know, some family members might be offended.
And just make sure that everyone is still relatively comfortable in watching things.
But then, she graced Maggie actually graced our best weddings, because usually Metro Weddings comes out with the two times a year, and then we have our best weddings, which is my personal favorite issue, because it's all
special issues.
Exactly, and all the weddings that she's done and that we've done, all go in, and all the other planners done, and everybody, you know.
If you kind of want a condensed version of really what to do with the wedding, get the best weddings.
Absolutely, and this one it's really condensed because we mixed our second issue of the year with the best weddings, so it's all in one, and that's why it's kind of thick.
But it's beautiful. I mean, she looks absolutely gorgeous, and there are a lot of tips. You know, before we go, please invite our viewers to grab a copy, and Rita as well. Where people can find you?
Yeah, I hope you guys grab a copy of the new Metro Weddings with Christine Hermosa on the cover. We worked really hard at this issue. It's a really great issue for us because it has so many tips. The fashion stories, we're hoping that we can open up new trends for the coming year, especially like the neck pieces, just different things that haven't really been seen. So for you brides that want a unique wedding and want that unique touch, I think you should grab a copy. and enjoy it and enjoy planning your wedding.
Enjoy being a bride.
Enjoy being a bride.
And if people do want to enjoy being a bride a little bit more and contact Rita,
Yes, you can
take away the
contact
stress.
me at Rita_events@yahoo.com. And I'm also conducting seminars for those who want to be in the same field as I am, which is event planning.
Awesome.
Yep,
All
they can
right.
always find out about